Well, there we go. The whole thing's set up for battle. It's taken me a grand total of 37 minutes to put the two armies together. It's very, very efficient. So let's just sit down for a second. You can have a look at the Romans. So here you have a central Roman legion. So we've got 2 bases worth of Astarte and Principes, and at the back you've got a Triarii, so they're all in proportion. So that's a Pacto version of that with 2 V-lights at the front. And if we go over here, we've got another legion with 3 V-lights in the front, general at the back there on the small base, bit of cavalry on the side, they didn't have that many, commander-in-chiefs at the back, another legion on the side there, and a little bit of cavalry. So if I pan back a bit, that's your whole Roman army, which is a decent sized Pacto army. I'll come back to that in a second, and I'll turn it into a Magna army for you. Now look at the Carthaginians as we wander around. Just sort out the elephant. So they're a bit different. They've got a lot more cavalry, so they've got a decent unit of cavalry there. African cavalry with a general behind, then 3 bases of Numidians. And the skirmishes are all done, you'll see either putting them on a single base like that, or putting them on a double base like that, and putting 2 individual figures so that you can see the open order effect of them. So that's how these are done, whereas all the other guys are on double bases, showing much denser formations. You see that particularly when you come into the middle of the Carthaginian army, because there you've got the big block of foot at the frac. At the back you've got Carthaginian veteran spearmen on the back, and then Gauls and Spanish in the middle, and some Libyan spearmen on the right, 2 war elephants, Hannibal himself, and a swarm of Numidian light infantry. See there? And then their wing over on the other side, you've got yourself another wing with lots of Numidian cavalry. So if this was played out, this would be rather like Cannae with a few elephants, because the wings are going to swap very quickly on the Romans, but the Roman infantry are hard as nails. Just to finish the journey, those will be big, decent sized Pacto armies. I'm going to actually convert you into a Magna army, which is not very difficult for me to do. So basically what would happen is that will become a 4 base unit of cavalry. These will become individual 4 base units of Roman legionaries. These will become bigger bases, a set of skirmishers of 4 there. Under a Triarii in an ideal world, all I would do is take 1 off. Well, I could leave them grouped together in the rules as they are, or I could put them single base behind the 2. Worth having a few spare bases because it gives you the flexibility. And I'm just going to lay all those out and just explain to you that this would actually be, once you've done that, just put those there, cavalry. In terms of tugs, units, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 main battle units, as called tactical unit groups, and 2 skirmish units of villas. Well, that's a decent sized Magna army actually. That's the middle sized game, well on the way to play Maximus. And when you lose a base, treat these as 2 bases, so treat the ranks as bases. When you lose a rear base, you take a rear rank off. So there you go. There's a tug of Roman legionaries that's lost a base. Job done. Simple as that. And if I spin round and do the same for the Carthaginians, just a minute. Yeah. Play a slightly bigger board when you play the Magna version, but we'll do the same thing. So that would probably remain a 4 of the skirmishers together, double ranked. That's 4 bases of cavalry. So that's the wings sort of done. I'll probably need 1 extra base of those probably to fully flesh it out. In the middle here, I'd probably do something like that. Have 1 big block of those. The elephants could still be individual, or it might be a 2, put them together like that. And every one of these infantry just spreads side to side and become 4 base units. You just have a lot more width to your army because of how that expands. And you could put the skirmishers single rank just as a screen. It depends what you're trying to do with them basically. So I will probably deploy them something like that as a skirmish screen. 1 big skirmish screen, there we go. A couple of elephants. Hannibal himself, that's a spare. and I've just set you up Magna battle basically. That's the middle-sized battle, and buy an extra set of these. You've got a Maximus Plus version for the big tail, so you've plenty to go. And these are all casualty markers or spares, so when something suffers a wound, we're just going to pop one of those behind to show that it's got a wound. And then if it suffers a second wound, we'll take them off, or if you really don't want to take any figures off, just keep accumulating the wounds behind. So we know that with those two behind, it's now a base down. With those two behind, it's two bases down, you've only got two left. So there's loads of flexibility of what you can do within the game system using these WoFun figures, and there's a few different variants of armies I can do here. The basic army design I've got here for the Roman has a superior legion in the middle and two average legions on the flank. So you've all of that to play with. The V-lights are about the world's best anti-skirmishers, so probably you'd want those somewhere in the centre. And if it goes well for the Romans, it will, because the Roman V-lights take out the Numidian skirmishers and the Roman V-lights here take out the elephants, and it won't be too severe. But one of the Roman flanks is going to get swamped in this quite easily, so it probably could do some terrain and a nice forest on one side to protect itself against, which they would have loved to have had at Cannae. Oh, it helps. They look rather pretty, don't they? I'll just do a bit of close-up so you can see them. Super outlook. Really good. Oh, lovely. I mean, I couldn't actually paint this well anymore, but I mean, metal 3D figures will always be my favourite thing, because I've grown up with them. But were I starting afresh, and if I wanted a new army, I'd go with these. Definitely. Get playing the game as quickly as possible. Have fun.